Taylor here for Creative Cake Art, and this is Fix It Friday. I am coming to you from my living room instead of my kitchen because today, and I'm sitting on my living room floor. This is an odd video, I know. It's different from what you guys are used to. But today I want to talk to you about your cake photography. Okay, cake photography is very important because you can make a really beautiful cake, and if you use bad lighting or if you don't take a couple extra steps to make sure that you get a good picture of your cake, it really doesn't matter how beautiful it is. Or you can make something that's sort of like not as good as you would have maybe hoped it would be, but if you take a good picture of it, it really changes the whole dynamic of the cake and how people respond to it. And I mean, you guys know this, like I especially pay attention to this when I'm scrolling through like my timeline feed and I see a cake picture, or it doesn't have to be cake, but a picture of something. It could be a macaroon, it could be a cookie, it could be a whatever, it could be a flower. If it's a really nice picture and it's well lit, then I will pay attention to it. I like it. I stop. I pay attention to the brand, the company, the person that posted it. If it's a really bad lighting, a flash, if it's dark, if the picture's blurry, then I kind of just keep scrolling, okay? And I'm sure that you guys do the same thing, no matter how good or bad the product is. And I notice that a lot of people don't take good pictures of their work. All right, this is essential, especially if you're a business owner. This is very important for your business, okay? I'm not the first person to talk about this, but I just want to give you guys a little glimpse into this very simple way that you can take really nice pictures of your cakes, and it requires no extra lighting. I myself, I do have studio lights, and sometimes I use the studio lights. I know that a lot of us work at night, so it's hard to sometimes use the thing I'm going to recommend, but it's definitely very feasible, and you kind of just have to work around it so that even if you're working at night, maybe take your pictures the next morning. Just give yourself a little bit of extra time to do this one step that's going to make all the difference, and that is using daylight. Okay, so you can see the daylight sitting next to me. Even I look like better in the daylight, I think, I hope. Anyway, but it's God-given, it's beautiful. Like, what more can you ask for? It's free, okay? All of us, I'm sure, have a window, and even if you don't have a window, which you probably do, but even if it's not a lot of lighting coming through your window, you can even go outside and take the picture. I would prefer that over using a flash at night or using like the overhead tungsten or fluorescent lighting. It's very harsh, creates a lot of shadows, a lot of weird lines, and it's very bad. Okay, so today I am just going to show you my little setup, and then I'm going to show you the two pictures, what it looks like, how I sit here and take my pictures. And I do this with literally all my cakes, unless it's at night and I have to just do a quick picture just in case something happens to the cake. I'm like, let me get a picture, and then I'll go back and get a picture in the morning. And you probably can notice my most recent thing that I posted is like the Minion Bear. The first picture that I posted of the Minion Bear was with my studio lights, and it was good. It was a nice picture. It was good lighting. But the second one that I posted was with the daylight, and it was just a lot better, okay? So I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to show you how it looks when we do it, not with studio lighting, because a lot of you may not have studio lights, although they're very inexpensive. But everybody has like their kitchen light. So I'm going to show you the difference between taking the same picture with your kitchen light versus the daylight. Okay, daylight, and the other trick is just using a couple white foam core boards. These are like $2 at Michael's, so I use several of them. If they get dirty or anything, you know, they get kind of raggy, you just replace them. $2, so easy, you guys. Okay, you guys gotta use this trick. It makes all the difference. I don't want to see any more bad cake pictures of your beautiful work. All right, so let's just move over here. This is literally what I use here, okay? So I'm gonna let's just deconstruct this real quick. So you just have these 3 boards. I put a little piece of wood here under here because sometimes the cakes can be really heavy and you don't want it to sink in. I have some different size wooden boards, so this is just a smaller one since what I'm using is really small. I put one down on the bottom, or you can put a backdrop or whatever you have. So essentially you want, sometimes I use wood for this, like I use a little wooden roll up. Okay, so you want to put your backdrop here. Kind of maybe have to prop it up. Sometimes you can use the cake stand. So you put your subject there. And I have a big, so you see there's a big sliding door here, but you can use whatever you have. Window, it doesn't have to be a big sliding door. And then I put the reflector. This board here is your reflector. So you don't really want this in the picture, you just want it to reflect the sunlight back onto your object, okay? And then I just take my camera. Now, I have a pretty good camera here. It is a Canon 60D. The one that I'm recording on now is a Canon 70D. So these are great cameras. But even if you just have your iPhone, or even if you just have a, $70 like Canon PowerShot, it doesn't matter really. Whatever you use, your picture is going to be 100,000 times better if you do it this way. Okay? And what else did I want to tell you about the camera? You can also find like a Canon. I use Canon, so like you can use Nikon or something else. Doesn't have to be Canon. But if you wanted to use something that's a little bit more professional, that's going to give you better pictures, you could get something close to this. What I started out using was a Rebel, like a TI. I think it was a TI-1. All right, it was something really basic, and they're like, we can find them for really cheap, like $150, $200, okay? Not much money at all. And then work your way up, okay? So, so what I just do is I sit here and I look at my screen, and I usually, like I change my settings based on how bright it is, but I do a little test shot, okay? So you can see my test shot there. Let me move this in a little bit. So I do my test shot, and I see what it looks like. So that looks pretty good. So you guys see how easy that actually is. Literally free sunlight, and I mean, it's like it's 5:30, so this is even not like in the prime daytime. But as long as you have a little bit of light, you can adjust your camera settings if you have that kind of camera where it takes in more light. If you don't have the kind of camera, if you're using your iPhone or your smartphone, then you want to do it where you have enough light available. Don't do it when it gets too late, because then you won't bring enough light in. And here is the example of what it looks like if I'm just using my kitchen light, okay? So you guys can see this is like a huge difference. This picture looks god awful. I mean, like the shoe is exactly the same. The pacifier is exactly the same. And I made these a while ago, but the one picture, it looks beautiful. You want to make it, you want to buy it, you want to have it on your cake. This other picture looks like, okay, whatever, cool, keep pushing, keep it pushing. Find the next cake decorator, find the next picture to like, find the something else. But this is not the thing. And I think what we have to realize is a lot of times, I know that we're in a rush, and when I say this to you, I'm also saying it to myself. I'm guilty of this as well. A lot of times we're in a rush, or we're trying to just get it out the door, or we're like, okay, I just need a quick picture of this, and we take a really like crappy picture and not realize like what kind of reflection that is to people of our business. Like, you're in a very visual business, cake decorating, it's an art. So you want to make sure that your art is coming across in the best way that it can, literally in the best light that it can. And this is a very inexpensive way to do it, okay? All right, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this Fix It Friday. I hope that you use these tips. Please, please, please use these tips, okay? It's going to change your life, okay? If you have any questions or comments, please do leave them below in the comment section. If you have anything you'd like to see for Fix It Friday, please leave it below this video in the comment section, or you can leave it for us on YouTube, Sierra Taylor, or for us on our Instagram at Cake College. All right, guys, thank you. I'll see you Tuesday for Tuesday Tidbits.